of Girls Glasses Gone podcast. Woo! And we have a guest.
I can't believe I'm still hooing after like a year. I guess some things never change.
We don't need it anymore.
I feel like we should start doing anniversary. Podcastversary. You know we did not celebrate our 1 year anniversary, right?
And you celebrated on Instagram.
Did we?
Yes,
I don't think we did.
We did.
Did we do anything like we are 1 year? I don't think we did actually. No, we did not.
Did they not talk about 1 year?
We should do it. Maybe when we turn to, we should want to look for like all those videos that we used to do that we never released. We'll not do like a collage or
but let me call you out.
That
you
what?
were making mouths. When we reach 100 followers, when we reach 100, you will dance for the podcast.
It's because it took us a whole year. Guys, that was quiet. When did we announce that one? That was this time last year.
Episode 2.
Now we're on episode 20, so no. Sorry. When we reach 1,000, hopefully it doesn't take us 10 years.
It will not take 10 years. God forbid. In the name of Jesus.
No, God forbid. I think last year, we also talked about this, right? I think we are putting in more energy this year than we did last year. I think at some point we were just like, weeks were passing by, we did not even do anything. And then
we will not do we are back every 3 months.
I swear.
We are back. After our episode, we'll not we are back again.
My dear, I'm sure people were like, they were just like, they were like.
But we have a guest on the podcast.
This is our second guest on this podcast and our first female guest. So there's a first.
Oh shit!
God.
Well,
okay, let me rephrase. Our first female millennial guest.
Nkechi, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, guys. Why I'm feeling special. Like my head is swelling. First female millennial on Girls Glasses and God. Oh my God.
And you know she's a guest because she has the white headphones. So yeah,
we make our guest special.
Yeah.
VIP only. VVVIP.
Nkechi, like introduce yourself to our lovely fans.
Okay. The long introduction or the short one? Let me do the short one.
Do the long one. Do the long one actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi everybody. Hi listeners of Girls, Glasses and God. I don't know. I just like that title. It's so catchy. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Nkechi. I am Nigerian, based in the US. I have known Ebun and Omo-Olorun for a good amount of maybe as long as I've been in the US. I think Ebun, we met in grad school. I'm based in the US. I work in tech. I am a lover of all things wellness and health, which is why Omo-Olorun keeps telling me about all the amazing recipes I post on my WhatsApp. I love everything that has to do with learning. So today you see me learning about finance, and tomorrow you might see me learning about one sport. Actually, I'm also call it semi-competitive swimmer because I took on swimming this year and it's been going great.
Did you just learn how to swim this year?
That has been a lifelong journey, but this was the year I said, November last year was when I said that I would take it seriously. So it's been an investment since November till this year.
But before November, were you did you know how to swim or you just started learning in November?
I just started learning in November.
Where did you learn?
November I learned in Nigeria, which is a story for another day.
November. Okay, you went
Nigeria.
home. Time flies by so fast.
It feels like
November already,
it feels
like
7
last
months
month
ago.
that
I'm afraid that we are in May. I'm like, how are we in May?
Do you know, I have a feeling that 1 second is no longer 1 second.
You know,
I feel like somebody has for real.
Wind up time.
It's not like we're already in May. Like, when was I saying, oh, you went home? Like, I was still commenting on your status, like, as in, oh wow.
I know. It could also be because we are older, and so
you are living every moment of your life.
Yes,
I feel like when you are young, you have no understanding of what time is.
Yes, I agree.
Are you sure though? Because everybody's saying the same thing, no? Like, I don't know.
No. If you ask people that are young, people that are not paying bills.
Yeah, because my nieces are like, I can't wait to grow up.
Yeah.
I can't wait to grow up. And
even like those ones, because I remember I called my mom and she was like, oh, they're on holiday now. And then I remember last week I just called her. She was like, oh, school has resumed again. I'm like, wait, what? Like 3 weeks already? Like 3 weeks does not look like 3 weeks anymore.
But you know when we were in secondary school, we had first term, second term, third term. Then you had like a long break in between when you are going to a new class. That summer break, it used to be like 3 months.
Yeah.
It looked like forever when we were young.
Really?
Even me too.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like,
It looked like
this holiday,
forever.
I'm ready to go back.
It
The
looked
house
like
was
But
too
forever.
much.
I don't know, Sha, but it's just been very weird. Like 2 years ago and now, I feel like time is just flying by so fast.
Even when I tell people self that, or when I'm talking to people that maybe I haven't seen since I left Nigeria, and I'm like, oh, it's 3 years old.
I know.
How?
You said, okay, 3 years, 4 years for me. Because when people
4
say, how
years.
long have you been in the US? I'm like, it has reached 4 years. I
I'm
didn't just
telling
come
you.
here. I did just before. I was so used like, oh, this is my second month in the US. But now I'm like, 4 years. I didn't just come.
Like,
Sorry, what were you saying?
Yes, so swimmer or swimming, adding semi-competitive swimming, but above everything, I'm a lover of God, and I'm always on a
We're
journey
here for
to
it.
make my relationship with God better. I think that's something I try to live through everything, or all the versions of Nkechi, whether it's Nkechi at work, Nkechi in the kitchen with friends, even right now. I think that's something that is, I would say, defines me.
yeah.
So yeah, that's my schnitzel.
We are happy to have you. Welcome
And we
on
have
board.
a lot of questions for you, but let me just hold it. Let me just hold
I am
it in my right hand.
I am
that-
so like
Mhm.
my shoulders are raised up. I'm like, I'm a guest on Girls Glasses. I'm gone. Like, yeah, so I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be
we are
here.
happy to have you. So don't worry, this is going to be like chilled, fun, and yeah, let's get right into it.
Okay.
Well, let's start with you, since what did you do this last week?
Last week recovered from jet lag because I just got back.
That's true.
Yeah.
Nkechi was
Nkechi's a
preparing
traveler
us
too.
on our status, so Instagram, everywhere I turn, is Nkechi's
No,
status.
I'm not a traveler like you guys, consulting people.
Eh?
Ebun.
No,
No,
wait.
traveling for work
Let's
and traveling
distinguish
for
between
fun
travel.
is different.
Is it?
When I say
It
traveler,
is
Because I
so-
feel like you guys are having so much fun whenever
No,
I
which
see your
fun?
pictures.
Which
As
fun?
how?
Which fun? Which
okay,
fun?
so I feel like when you see her pictures, it's travel for fun. I don't even think I post any picture when I'm traveling for work, because what's there to post?
Do you know that I've traveled to Miami a lot for work, and somebody was asking me, "Oh, you must have enjoyed yourself," and I was like, "I've never went out.
If I
It's only once.
I have
last year I went out. Then this year when I was working, when I talk about my own what I do, that we went out, and I'm like, somebody will say, "Oh, I visited Miami." Me too. I have Miami
it's
tag.
work. It's
Yeah.
work.
You won't really do anything. I'm just walking.
I remember a
You're
colleague
not
was
really-
saying, okay, well, 2 people that I talked to this week, one was in Hawaii, one was in Paris, and I was like, oh, like, you must be like having fun, like Hawaii now, like Hawaii is a destination, do you know? There's like vacation.
yeah.
He was like, he was like, he spends like, is it not 8 hours to get there? And then when you're there, you just do Monday to Thursday. And while you are there, you're like maybe doing workshop or like clients. Like there's no destination anything. Like before
don't
you
even
know
get
it,
a
you're already
chance to say
back.
anything.
And I was not like, wait, pre-COVID, how are they doing it? Because imagine going. In fact, I know one of my bosses who said he was traveling to, was it Europe, like every week, Monday to Thursday. Like you get there Monday morning, move on to clients, whatever. Thursday,
Wow.
he's back. I'm like, there's no fun in that. At some point, I just like, oh my god, like it's like you sleep, you wake up,
and you're back
gone.
again. My senior manager, she used to go to South Africa. That was pre-COVID time. So and then
From
she goes
America?
for like 2 weeks. So because it's South Africa time zone,
Okay.
everything, she would travel on Saturday, get there like on maybe Monday morning or Sunday night, do work. So she would be there for 2
And South
weeks.
Africa is far. It was
That's
like the
wild.
longest,
Yes, now.
longest
She will,
route.
she will do 2 weeks, then she will now come back. So the minute she's coming back, she's not like gaining time or whatever. So by the time she comes back, it's like she has to go back.
How does she even deal with the jet lag of that?
Honestly, I don't know how they did
I
it
think
pre-COVID,
at that
but
time they were just running on like you know when you don't think about something and you're just doing something day in day out. That's how they were going. So I think when COVID now happened, it's
It
like
slowed them
yeah,
down.
it slowed them down. So like that's why you hear them saying they can't do that again. Maybe they have family, they have kids, they have this, they have that. They can't do that again. Even me, when I started working too, I was like, oh, travel like a lot, and now you travel. After I did every other week for like 2 months, I was sick of it already because I felt like I was just paying rent.
especially if you're going
you
to
were
the
not staying in your
same
house.
place. If you're going to the same place too, there's a way you're like, okay, I'm done. Like, or winter. I remember I was going to a very very cold place in winter. I was like, like
What place was that?
Ohio.
Oh my god.
And even Ohio is not the person that they don't even have anything. I'm
They don't
sorry
have
to people that live in Ohio.
Wait, but don't you guys see that is it Amazon adverts where they talk about coming to Ohio for summer?
And
Like
maybe some. I don't know if they have. Maybe again, like okay.
And then
To be
you went
fair,
to
I
good
haven't explored Ohio, so I don't know. But I don't think there's anything there. But yeah, anyway, you are Kweku the traveler, so wear your crown. Nkechi has been in Bangkok, so give us just how was it? How was your trip?
It was an experience. That's what I can just say. Like, it was just, I don't even know. When I look at, because I tried as much as possible to take pictures of things that interested me, like just random pictures of videos. And when I go back to them, I'm like, Omo, God be creator. Like, how does man just think about this if it's not from God? Like, how is it that this place is so different from Nigeria and then so different from the US? Like, it just felt like Asia was a world on its own. Like, we are not even on planet Earth.
Wow.
It was beautiful. The shopping scene, my sisters, you know what they call shop till you drop. That's what.
So is it like a lot of money? Like, is it expensive or how was it?
It's relatively, I would say it's in between. It's not as expensive as the US, but it's definitely, not as cheap as Nigeria. So I wouldn't call Nigeria cheap, but I mean,
Nigeria is not cheap again.
Nigeria is not cheap, but it's in between, and certain things were very affordable.
Like what?
Food.
Okay.
The food there was very cheap, I think, because across board, even like when we had to eat in the hotel, you know how maybe here you're like, I don't order hotel food because it's crazy expensive. It wasn't like that. Like the food was very cheap and fresh. Like even my body knew that the food was fresh.
Is it like are there like more healthy options?
I think they eat.
I would say more natural options, not
organic.
healthy.
Okay.
Thank you. What we call organic.
Okay.
Wild, yeah.
Because I think they don't do a lot of processed food as well. Because I watch a lot of like
K-dramas,
C-dramas and the rest, and a lot of foods, like they eat some of them, they don't cook them too long or things like that. So
exactly.
The nutrients are still there, things are still fresh.
Yeah,
that's good though.
You can also see it in their skin. They always, like, sometimes you might see some people that are acting in movies, by the time you go and check them online, you're like, wow, you're
30,
40.
Yeah.
And they look so good. Their
it was just
skin
like
is
when we
so
saw
nice.
Boys Over Flowers, and they were supposed to like be in high school, and the person that was doing Boys Over Flowers was like 30 at that time. I was like, what?
I don't know his real name, but Gujumpio.
That's it. What's his real name again? Lee
That's true.
Oh my god.
So they always look good. They take care of their skin, and I think it's also what they eat too, because what you eat also affects your body.
Fresh. They eat very fresh. So I will say that pork, I got tired of the pork there because everything was
they eat
pork. So at some point, my son and I were like, no, not pork again. No. Let's look for something else. But food there was cheap. Shopping there was affordable. I won't call it cheap, but for me, because of the quality I was getting, I was like,
what kind of things were you shopping for? Like work or like any casual?
For me, I had favorite brands that I really wanted to see in person. I wish.
That's true. She's also a fashion. You're a fashion designer now. This is part of what we're talking about today.
I add that in my title at this point? I guess I don't know.
I mean, from time to time,
have to
do it, don't you?
True. So I already had things I wanted to buy. First of all, I'm in this phase in my life where I'm like, I want to really reduce on consumerism. I don't just want to buy things for, this is such a good deal, or I know I will use it later. I want to buy things that I know that, number one, will stand the test of time. I mean, test of at least 3 years. Let me give myself that. More, yes, but because before 1 year it has scattered. So let me just say, like, things that will stand the time of 3 years, and then things I know that I needed and not just were occupying space in my wardrobe. So using that, I already knew what I wanted to buy. So I got a lot of like bags, accessories, scented stuffs. I didn't get as much clothes as my siblings did because I just felt like, where will I wear it to really? I mean, how often do I go out in the US? If it's not work friendly or if it's not work church friendly, then I most likely might wear it once or twice a year. But that's what I bought. But my sisters, I don't even know. Whenever they want to come and report back on what they got, because I was just like looking at them. Okay, let's go. But it was, Bangkok was fantastic. I think also just seeing the culture of people.
Did you wear like the traditional clothing?
No, I didn't. Oh, funny enough, because I wasn't too, I guess, wowed by it.
Okay.
I think it looks finer in Instagram than real life, in my opinion. Another thing again for all our listeners, like as much as Instagram makes it seem glamorous, you want to go on TripAdvisor and Google and actually look at reviews, because some of the places we went to were just not worth the hype. Like it looked, oh my god, this place I have to go.
Do you know things like that on Instagram before? That they'll talk about like, oh, maybe one waterfall or something. Then when you now see the real behind the scenes,
you're not like, what is this thing?
It's
Why
in
did
this
I
US
do
that I
guess?
had to change my idea of tourism, because if you go on Google Map and you search tourist attractions near me,
you'll be seeing
you'll be shocked.
parks.
You'll be shocked at what the tourist attraction is. And I was like, when we were in Nigeria, I feel like we did not value like what we had.
Exactly.
Because we actually had like tourist attraction. Like,
you know, I think
look
about
at
that
the
thing all the
Olumo
time.
Rocks, the Kogosi,
the falls.
There's another one that we went to. I can't remember. In Osun State.
Even when you go to somewhere like Cross River,
There's so many.
The things they have.
There's so many.
But we don't
Do you know?
we don't. I feel like we don't market it enough.
We don't. That's the word.
I think that's the word.
That's the word.
Because we always, again, maybe it's like a whole Nigerian thing. We always feel like something has to be so big, so
It
wow,
has to be like
so
an Ikogosi where it's like
glamorous,
cold water meets hot water
with
before
the
you can call
aesthetics,
it.
like, you know.
I agree. And the funniest thing is, I was just telling a friend of mine that, wait, how did Thailand just even become this tourism destination? Because when I was growing up, I only know Thailand with tsunami. Right, because there was this big tsunami that happened, I think either 2003 or 2004, and then the whole world was raising funds for that area, Thailand, Bangladesh, Indonesia, and then they've, in 20 years, they've gone from that, oh, this is a tsunami area, to, in fact, there was, I don't know if you guys heard the news, like there was a tsunami or something, an earthquake, I think, that happened very close to, I've forgotten the name of the country, but it kind of affected Bangkok. But even at that, the tourism did not drop. So how did they go from there to that? It's just rewiring your mindset.
That still needs to be had, because sometimes when I talk to my dad, because when my dad was working, he traveled a lot for work, and there are some things that happen, and he will tell you, because he's very like into history and everything, I'll tell you that he visited, I think it was South Korea, maybe at a particular point in time, South Korea and Nigeria were at the same level.
Yeah.
So and it's like now, 20 something years later, you can't call the two countries in the same conversation, because those ones, they've gone far ahead.
Crazy.
So it's like we're the only ones that stayed the same while other people were moving on. So while other people were cleaning their reputation of, oh, maybe a tsunami, you only know them now, they've turned to tourism. Even the ones that they knew us for before, we've erased those ones and
rebranded
turned
themselves.
into something different.
Yeah.
So I think that's a conversation that's a political conversation.
Oh my god, that was what was in my head. I was like, that is a political conversation that needs to be had on another session, because there are so many.
I don't even think we are even the ones, because at the end of the day, after we have all those conversations, what will happen?
I'm telling you.
Like,
even
I
the
feel
ones
like
people have done and they've undone it. It's crazy.
Well, there's a lot. I think the country that always comes to mind when all these conversations happen is Dubai. Like I always say it every time. Like Dubai was a desert. Like there was nothing.
Dubai is still a desert.
Like
yet they have.
I agree.
If you go there now, it's gosh, I don't know, but
there's a lot more we can do.
Again,
there's
that one is not
do.
Dubai, Qatar,
oh like all those, like the UAE basically. Like no, Qatar is on my list of places that I want to go.
You should go. I also want to go to Qatar. Maybe we should plan.
I don't mind.
Did you? Okay. I think when I was coming to the US, my flight went through Doha. It's amazing.
That airport, right?
The airport is one of the most beautiful
airports.
Like, what?
That was what I thought too.
Again, when I was working in Nigeria, I worked in like the international airport for a while, so I've seen the top and bottom of it. But when I got there, I was like,
is that one airport?
Is this one airport? I was like, what?
It's a discovery on its own. Qatar airport is a discovery.
The airport was beautiful.
Nah.
And I heard Singapore is even more.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Singapore too.
I heard of Singapore is even more.
So this thing we're talking about like tourist attraction. So there was a girl. So you know, if you Google Singapore airport, there's like one place like that has like waterfall for falling. So the girl was now doing like behind, not like she was doing like real life version. Like, oh, when you go to the Singapore airport and you have a long layover, thinking you see the waterfall. She now got there was nothing there. She now said apparently they have certain times they put it on. So I think when she was there, it was not on. So
night.
I here for something like
Yeah,
that.
maybe she was there in the night because
So,
nighttime is the worst
To
time
be a
to be over.
tourist too, you need to be strategic because if you just go to some places anyhow, you will miss what you're supposed to see. So
And I
That's
think
so
I
true.
think branding is also very important because have you ever seen this post where they'll say what you see on Instagram versus real
Yes.
life?
Yes. Yes.
You now realize that even what people are posting on Instagram is just a rebranded real life.
yeah.
So it's
I
like,
agree.
for instance, when people go to Santorini, Greece, you know how everything is so white and everything.
And
Start
blue.
playing. I've also seen like the quotes real life where people are like, I
Yeah.
don't believe what you honestly. But it doesn't mean that they are not beautiful places anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just about
beautiful, but it's
perspective.
just perspective. Yes,
I don't know if you guys know
agree.
this one. If you guys have seen this picture of people that will be like they're at the edge of the waterfall cliff.
Oh,
So I don't know if you guys have seen that
I've
picture.
seen this one.
So the girl now did like a behind the scenes. First of all, you will see a very long line.
Yeah.
They now said that they have. It's just the way she said it. I was just like, so
Maybe
they have
it's
like
like
people that
maybe
then are
2 minutes.
hold you. When you're
Yeah.
still, they'll snap your picture. You do your
Yes.
pose. After you're done, you
You
and that
go.
person will
They
come
have
in.
that in Thailand too. All the very popular places you
It's
go.
like you have to milk all this. Anyway,
Yeah.
again, we'll be
Yeah.
fine. So aside, okay, so you were in Bangkok and then you were in
Why did you
Phuket.
choose
Yes.
Bangkok?
That conversation is one my sisters and I had the night before we left because everyone was like, why did we decide to come? I was like, I think we wanted to do Bali first. That was what one of my immediate elder sisters suggested. And then we're like, well, if Bali doesn't work, let's do Thailand. So doing like Bali was just apparently
It was a struggle.
it was
to
a
get.
struggle. Visas
What
in
was the visa
Nigeria.
process for you for Bangkok?
Oh my god. Oh, do you guys want to hear that story?
Yes.
Hey, that okay, so Bali own was it just did not really seem as straightforward. So we now just decided to shoot with Thailand because I went online, watched a few videos. I was like, okay, visa, this is pretty straightforward. We can do it. Boom. We started. Or rather, we had a timeline. We found out that you can apply 90 days before your trip.
Oh really?
So
you
that
can
meant,
apply
yes,
for the visa 90 days
before
so
your trip because they give you only
90 days.
because they give you only a 60. I think it's a 60-day or a 3-month visa.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
okay,
3 months,
okay.
90 days. They give you a 90-day visa, but you can only stay in the country for 60 days at a stretch and leave. So that meant whatever we needed to do, we could not do as early as we wanted it to do. So it was now this year that we now started the process. For me, Nigerian that is not in Nigeria, immediately you just put your nationality passport. They ask you for NDLEA certification.
That's
What does
the
that
drug
mean?
one now.
The what's it called? Nigerian Drug Law
How do you get
Enforcement.
it?
Ask me, or they ask you for police clearance. How do I get this? And it's the one from Nigeria. You must provide either or. How do you get it? So thankfully, my sisters, because they're also doing e-visa, so that one was required of them. So they've already gotten their own. So I just told them, please, you guys should come help me get mine. So the person that helped them, right, was like, oh, apparently there's an online version that they use for Nigerians, but it's like 3 times the price.
How much is it?
Nigeria strikes
My
again.
siblings paid, I think, 50-something K for the certificate. Me, I paid 130-something K for certificate. I'm telling you, and everything is online, though. It's not even like.
Wait,
It's
why
extra.
did you have to pay extra? Because we're out of the country.
Because I'm out of the country. Even passport renewal, I heard that US, if you're doing it in the US, the price is different from if you're doing it in Nigeria.
I did my passport 10 years.
So,
10 years.
I don't know if because maybe they say you're earning-
$64
you're earning in
dollars.
but it's not fair.
I did it $264. By the time I got there,
Convert it now.
they still collected like $70 from me.
Can you imagine?
I will do the multiplication on your phone.
That's the here in the US, right?
Eh?
You did it here in the
Three
US.
times 18.
Yeah.
That's like 3 times 18. Just do 3 times 18.
But that's not the price if you're doing it in Nigeria.
That's like
It's been like 70K
40,000.
now or something, or maybe it's not even 70K again for 10 years visa. Well, at this point,
So it's crazy.
you will do it for your convenience.
I'm
That's the
telling you
thing.
for your convenience. So anyways, I was surprised though that Nigeria has a whole like face recognition. The online thing was very well. I said, so we have this thing. Anyways, it's a what they call it. It's a revenue generating
But
stream.
is
So
it
they
going
will
to the
make
right
it.
place?
I don't know, but
It's not
it's just generating revenue for them. So I did that. Then in order to not do the NDLEA one, I was like, you know what? Let me also do US certificate clearance, which is basically fingerprinting, FBI fingerprinting, which is like one of the most straightforward processes ever. You just go pay on their website.
But this
go
is
to
crazy,
USPS,
man. All for
e-visa.
Oh my God.
All because I have a green passport. So after doing that, I submitted both the certificate of clearance and the US version. So they don't ask me for NDLEA because that one is harder to get if you're out of the country. So I was like, let me do that one. If they ask me, and that one is like, I think they told me 300K. So I said, if they now insist, I would not go and look for how to do it. But at that point, I did it. And then the waiting game started. I waited for this visa because they said it takes
Did they do interview? No interview.
Business. Apparently, they do a phone interview.
Okay.
So they say 5 business days. I didn't hear anything. 10 business days. I didn't hear anything. I started calling the embassy now. People say 5 business days. Is there something needed? Nobody. I couldn't even get the right visa office. And then I just got an email. Are you ready for a call? Can you call? I say, but there's nothing like call on the website. Nobody said anything about call.
They want to verify that you are who you say you are.
I know, but nobody said anything about call, so it could be a scam. I did the call. The call was very straightforward, and they gave me my visa.
What did they ask you?
Where are you going to? Thank God I built out the itinerary. So they asked me, I knew everything. What day? How long are you staying? What do you want to do in Thailand? So I just give them the whole story, all the places. My sister. I say, wow, on top my own money. Hey. Now, wow, this green passports. Yeah.
But you guys were determined though, because
let me tell you.
I read all those extra.
Let me tell you what happened. We had booked our flight and paid for our hotel because we thought the visa was a straightforward thing. Like if you read all the YouTube videos, even the instruction, you would think this can't be as hard now. And I had e-visa, so I was like, I know Qatar e-visa is not this hard. And all the Instagram influencers that have talked about Thailand and visas, nobody really gave you the integrate, don't do. If not, maybe we would have gotten a ticket reservation or something. So that was what made us weigh that ticket money that we had paid. We said we had to get it. But guess what? My siblings' visa, we didn't get it till the week before we traveled.
Wow.
I'm telling you. We applied like almost 30 days. So 30 business days, or not 30 calendar days. 30 business days. We did not even say, God, what is going on here? We must go on this trip.
That's crazy, man.
Hey. So we got it the week before. And the truth is, we didn't calculate a lot of things. Apparently, there's Thailand New Year, which is like 5 business days. Remove that one from the timeline.
So Thailand New Year is even from Chinese New Year.
And it's 5 days. It's 5 days in April. So if you ever want to go to Thailand, make sure you Google out Thailand holiday. They have a lot of holidays which they observe even though they are in Nigeria. So remove that one. Then remove all the Nigerian holidays, the Salah, the Easter. So basically we did calculate all of that time.
Yeah.
But thankfully they, like I think Thursday morning, no. I would say Monday or Tuesday, they responded and they now asked for a phone interview for me. So it's still phone. So that phone interview is nowhere written on the site. But but once you get to that phone interview, it's like your visa is almost in less than 48 hours you get it. But there was just nobody gave that descriptive information on do X, Y, Z.
I think that's the difference between a lot of countries and the US. It was the same thing I was saying about when I applied for my Nigerian passport. They said bring just 2 documents. I printed it in this place. I printed out my appointment letter and whether the something from. By the time I got it, they said, we need to have money order. We need to have this. We need to have that.
Why is it not there?
Why did you not put it there explicitly? Let me get all these things in place. Then I say, go to business center. Center, I spent $70.
Can you imagine?
Printing, betting. I was like, all these things are not necessary.
Exactly.
So to travel these days, it's not easy.
You have to factor in so many unforeseens. So many unforeseen. And even have a plan B. Because we are now even resorting to plan B.
Because I was like, few days before your trip,
girl, we started praying about. I didn't think I would ever pray about something like Thailand visa, like vacation trip. But that's what happens. I even went on it's Reddit that you see the real information. I went on Reddit and was now reading
that happened to before.
Everybody's frustrated. I said, thing is a real thing.
Yeah.
I slept. We slept on Reddit, and then we already started making like a plan B. Either, thankfully, the tickets we have. Well, that's another thing. I don't even know if bloggers really tell you, travel bloggers, but anything you're doing, don't book that cheapest non-refundable tickets. That's the worst thing.
But so there are two types of non-refundable. There are some airlines that would not give you anything, but there are some that will give you credit.
You want to go for that credit
exactly.
one.
So read in between the lines. Be sure, not even read in between. Read it very well. Be sure that you at least get something.
Yeah.
So non-refundable does not mean that they will not give you your money at all. Some people will actually give you credit.
Yeah, that's the one. So that's
the one. But don't go and book one that, except it's like $100 flight. I will never book a non-refundable trip.
Yeah, even me too.
I think sometimes too, you have to pay. You have to experience it and enter the hot soup.
My sister.
Before you clear your head.
Yes.
I've been saying, because I have the points and everything. I think there was one trip I was like, I'm just going for this trip. Let me book non-refundable that. And I know that I'm going to be on leave. Say like, I booked the one that you cannot cancel. By the time I was not calling them that they should change the time for me, that I wanted an earlier flight. Like, put me on a 5 a.m. because I needed to get to Atlanta early. Yeah. Then I said, I bought that flight maybe $200. They said, that's, if they want to do that for me, they will first charge me kinikon money. Then they will not, after they not charge me, they will not give him back credit. Then that credit, I'll not have to add additional money to now be on the 5 a.m. flight. And I say, okay, how much is the additional money? And I say $700 for $200. So
like, don't worry. Just go cancel it.
And the thing is that if I now wanted to buy a new flight, they were not giving me the price of the current flights at that time, because I was literally saying cancel my flight. I want to cancel my tomorrow, change the time
to book the new one.
Tomorrow flight. So it was like an immediate less than 24 hours. I was like, and I said, so it's because I was being cheap to myself. So I said,
sometimes penny wise, pound foolish.
I said, never again.
I'm telling
because sometimes you really cannot. You would think, nothing will happen now. I can, but you never know. But at least having that flexibility to say,
in case of anything, let me change. So that was what that was
going to be a financial burden.
Yeah, that was why we're able to start thinking of plan B. Was either maybe we will postpone the trip by maybe a couple of weeks more till the visa comes, or we look for maybe another place to go to, maybe somewhere that the visa is easy to get. Maybe we're not maybe we'll just do Qatar because we're using Qatar Airways, so it might be easier to tell them, we want to do Qatar. It'll be easier to rearrange our itinerary around that. So that was all we're doing. But thankfully the visa came, and then because my husband was he himself, he was praying because he said everything Thailand. So he said he was even please let me go on this trip so that so that was the build up of the trip was something else. But it was memorable.
Imagine getting this stressed before you go on vacation.
My sister.
I hope Isha had a great time.
That's the most important thing. But I will say that I've been telling everybody this, that for me, I would have spent my whole time in Phuket, because Phuket is just R&R, relax and rest. Exactly. Thailand the traffic there was giving me, I don't even know, Lagos vibes, Lagos that I don't even live in. So the traffic was stressful. We have to calculate where we are going to and how not to get stuck in traffic, because once you get stuck in traffic, transportation shoots up, and sometimes cabs will tell you they're not going, because it doesn't make sense for them to go. So but Phuket was just very relaxing, very chilled. There was parties everywhere. Anything you want to do, you saw shows. So for me, I prefer Phuket by far.
Let me ask you guys a question for traveling, because there was this icebreaker question that I did. So if you are going on a vacation, so let's use two instances, right? Let's say no money restrictions or anything like that. Would you rather go on a vacation where you can just chill, relax, you're in the hotel getting room service, you're getting massages, you're not stressing yourself out, or when you go on a vacation you want to see, for example Paris now, you want to go to the Eiffel Tower, you want to go to this, you want to see all the major things.
I'll do both.
You can only pick one of them.
We had a conversation like that
you can only pick one of them,
and they were talking about you have the rest, you have the vacation, and then you have the rest. It's anytime you're going on vacation, you have to plan. If I'm taking a week off, the vacation will be 3 days. 2 days would be relaxation. Then you do your vacation. Then you do another 2 days of relaxation before you actually go back to work. Because most of the time, right, if I'm being honest, if I'm going to Paris, I'm usually let me see everything. Let me go to the Eiffel Tower. Let me taste all the food. Let me do all of that. So usually I would not want to like spend a lot of money to just go and be doing massages. I can do massages in Atlanta now. How about? But at the end of the day, it's like now, even now, say when I'm going on trips, I usually like plan in my head like the first day of the trip I'll most likely not do anything. The last day of the trip I'll most likely not do anything, or I'll just like do relaxation stuff, and then in between
You struggle.
you will not do everything that you want. And sometimes it might not even be everything because you're like, let me just do because let me see what I can do in between. But like that's where I am right now. But I can't do either or. Like I can't do either or, like either rest and rest or vacation.
But what if
only.
you've been to that location before? Let's say you've been there, you've done the things and everything. So let's say for example there are a list of 10 places that you should go. Let's say you are going to Paris. There are a list of these 10 places that you must, like if you say you've gone to Paris, so you should have gone to those 10 places, and you've gone on one trip to Paris, you've done 5. And now this option now is are you going to do the remaining 5, or will you relax and rest?
I'll do
Champagne
now.
You are not doing both.
Like you
No, I said like if it's an either or option, like would you rather relax, or would you rather be the person that wants to see what you can see during that
Why will I go to Paris to just go and relax? Except they have like a special relaxation.
It depends on the relaxation. Like for me, it depends on what relaxation to me doesn't always equate like going for a massage or spa. Right. For me, relaxation can just be, instead of me being the one to work, I will enter tourist bus and just chill there, let them be explaining what all these buildings are, and be snapping picture. You know, I'm sorry, but you're relaxing now. Like I'm not working.
You went out, you stood up from your bed. And
why will I go to one country and just want to waking up?
Somebody was like, Nkechi, I'm supposed to be doing a hot cold massage for you. You're not saying no, you want to enter tourist bus.
Anyway, for me, I think it depends. If I know that I am going to factor in rest time, so my strategy when I always go on vacation is I always take more time
These
off.
are no business students. My strategy when I'm going on vacation,
I always take more time off than the time I'm actually going for vacation.
For sure.
So if I know that, okay, I want to tour, right? Instead of me, let's say you're giving me 7 days off. That vacation might just be a 4-day vacation. I will go and tour, then I will now come back and chill.
So you're saying the same thing I just said, basically.
Yeah, but I'm not in the destination. I'm not in Paris chilling.
And you come back to Atlanta now.
Yeah, I'm not come to Atlanta and now rest and stay in my house. Nobody should call me for the next 2 days. I'm resting. That's what I would do. But I think I'm in a phase in my life now. Well, not that the phase will not change by the end of the year, but just because of the kind of workload.
She put disclaimer.
The phase might change by the end of the year.
I can change my answer tomorrow if you come and meet me.
But just because of the workload I have now, I think I'm more inclined to go towards that like rest and relax. Or like call it stage, like choose that choice than see the city, especially if it is a city that I've been to. If you're telling me to come to Bangkok again, I'll just stay. I'll be like that in my house. Well, I've been there, done that. I'll be there. I want to lie there in my house, and just chill, be in the pool, that kind of thing. But if you're telling me, come to Phuket, I'm not gonna be chilling. I want to, go see more things because I didn't do a lot. So I think like Ebun, my first choice is what Ebun said. But if we had to choose based on where workload and I am right now, I think I would choose
rest and relaxation.
But what's your own answer? You the question answer.
Me is rest and relaxation. Does it not show from my face? Like rest and relaxation, no. But honestly, like same thing, right? But I feel like again, the question now had the caveat of if money is not involved, like you're not wasting money. I'm like, I will rest, I will relax, I will sit by the pool, I will let them massage my body, let me sleep, like let me just.
But how long would they want to massage your body? So for instance, if you are there for like 2 weeks,
there are other activities to do.
No, like
in that space, like
so the thing about what I'm trying to say is like you don't have a 2-week vacation usually. Like you might not really have like 2 weeks to like be in different.
I think the first question is even what do you define as rest and relax? Because for me, rest and relax
different things for different people.
Okay,
so I think what I'm trying to say is that are you the type of person that you must go and see like the sites, like the popular things in a particular city, or will you rather just chill? Like it's not a do or die affair if you don't get to do it. I guess that's where my question is really where my question was really headed.
If it's my first time in that country,
you want to see,
yes,
I feel like it's just natural that I can't travel. Imagine the stress that you did to go to Bangkok. You don't go there, go and be sleeping. holiday for relaxation.
You now see
Come
picture your pictures. You now see your picture yourself on the
I want to go and see
selfie.
the Grand Temple.
Oh my God.
I want to go and see Wat
Yes,
Praia.
now.
Like I want to go and see,
you will go and see all
what
those
makes
nice
Thailand
Thailand, exactly.
Yeah, I think
you won't go all the
definitely.
way to just go and be sleeping and waking up. You can take time off. Sometimes I take time off and do nothing.
Yeah. I do
Because
that too.
because you just need that rest. But like I'm not spending that much money. Or even if money is not involved, I'm transporting myself, getting visa, doing all those
My sister.
stressful process to go
You're
and
not
sleep and
gonna
waking
sleep in
up.
Thailand.
It's not possible.
20-hour trip.
Are you for real?
That's a lot, Sha.
There's no straight
Was it
flight.
layover?
No straight flight.
Oh,
layover. You layover in Qatar. I think Qatar is the. I mean, there are other airlines that go to Thailand, but I was like, these are not popular airlines. Like
Qatar
there's
is a
South
good
Korea.
airline. Qatar is a good airline.
I'm like, I've never been to South Korea. There's India. I say I've never used all those ones. I don't know the story, but Qatar is popular. So
I used them. Yeah, food was
I feel
nice.
like we've
So-
done a lot of what have you been up to for Nkechi. So what about you? What have you been
What
up to?
have I been up to? Oh, I traveled for work.
where?
I traveled to Miami, and this was like the first time because we were literally doing everything together. Yeah, my team, we were literally doing everything together. So we're having like breakfast, lunch,
How many are
dinner.
you guys in your team?
So my team, from us, we are 5,
Okay.
and then we're with our
That's a
client
good
as well.
number.
So like sometimes it was varying from like 3 to 4.
Okay.
So we were having lunch together, we were having dinner together, and my partner, the partner of my project, she has been to Miami before. She has worked in Miami, and you know when somebody is like, "I'm going to enjoy my life." That's like, there was a particular point when we're like sitting down together, and she was like, because we went to one really nice restaurant called Kiki on the River, beautiful place. There was water, like, you know, Miami now, ships, everything passing, the food was good. And she was not like, ladies, because all of us on our team, we are ladies.
Oh.
She was not like, ladies, you need to live life. She said something like, you need to, like, you know, it's like, you need to chop life. Like,
Advice from the heart.
I mean, she was like, it was giving, this life is not so hard. Like, don't kill yourself on this life. Like, you can enjoy it. That was what she was giving. I was like, wow. So we actually went out, like, we had dinner together and, you know, different options, different food. We didn't really go and do like any sightseeing or anything, but we just moving together and all of that. But the client was good. We met our clients. Like,
You guys stay in a nice hotel.
the hotel, that hotel, I would not call them outside, but that hotel, that hotel, because we booked our trip like a few days before we had to travel. So, and that was like literally the only hotel that like what really fits what we're looking for. But my body was scratching me in the bed sheets. Like, you know how some bed sheets are like scratchy, like it's very rough textured and everything. And usually when I travel like that for the first night, I really don't sleep well. So I was waking up 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So it wasn't really nice. But after that, I think I was used to it. But yeah, it was good. We met the team. Everybody had fun. Like, I feel like it's one of like the best work trips I've been on in a while, because we're just like, everybody was just vibing. Like, everybody was just on the same level. Our clients too was not, you know, there's some people that you're like, but our clients was like, we're talking, like everybody was like really teaming and all of that. So yeah, that was nice. Then I came back on Thursday evening. Then on Friday I had like one full day. Yeah, a tech girl, so I did like a cybersecurity training. I was just like,
Is it like work cybersecurity that they make you take?
So this one
Or
is
you
like
did for personal
hours.
development?
No, it was like a whole team training. Like, we actually had to do it for like
okay.
our project.
Okay.
So, and the funny thing is that even as I was tired with the training, as they were asking questions, it's still me that was answering everything. But yeah, that was good. Then I went for like a graduation ceremony yesterday. People have graduated. Shout out to all the people that have graduated.
Yes, so
though,
congratulations
because
to you.
Congratulations.
Welcome to the favor market.
Welcome to the favor market. We know experience labor.
Amen. No.
So yeah, that's my week in a nutshell. How about you?
Yes, so I had a very, very similar week. Also traveled, got back on Thursday.
Where did you travel to?
North Carolina.
Oh, okay, not too bad. Was it a flight or?
It was a flight. I'm not driving.
We didn't even make you drive. Can they
If
make
you want
drive?
to, you have the flexibility to do that if you want
okay.
to. But no, I did not, and I would
That's
not.
like a 5-hour drive.
Ish, it's not that bad. I know people. When I was in Ohio, I know one of my bosses that time. He would drive to Detroit.
How many hours was it?
Like 3-4 hours. He preferred it because some people also prefer it. Like, if the trip is not long, they prefer to drive because
too.
before you get to the airports, from the airports to fly,
They're like,
before
it's almost
the same amount of time. So they're like, and so people don't live that close to the airports. Do you get? So imagine living in, let's say maybe Athens or maybe Lawrenceville, and it take you like 45 minutes to get to the airport. Before you get to the airport, you wait, you board. So they're like, let me just drive. So you have the flexibility to do that. But the flight was not that long. It was like 1 hour flight. And then I'll call data out. That's when I was going, they were like, this that they do, that they say, we need volunteers, because the flight was so full. I was actually very surprised that people fly to this area that much. So they were not like, if you want to volunteer to give up your seat to go at a later time. The first time, I think it was like a 2 hours difference. It was like $300. I was like, I beg, I'm not, like, I'd rather, because I was flying Comfort Plus. I was like, if they are going to reschedule me, I'll be on me. And I'm like, I don't want to do all those things. But then I was not coming back. They did the same thing again. But this time it was $800. I said, I have trips coming up. Let me stand up. I was the first person. Those people, Ojoro, in this life. I was the very first person.
Somebody else?
I think so. I was the very first person to get there. I was like, $800 or more. Wait till I want to go carry to for Atlanta. I'll work for extra 2-3 hours before I go. That's how so the way they do it is, it's not guaranteed. You stand up to volunteer, but they don't guarantee it. When everybody has now finished boarding, they will now let you know whether they will give you the money or not.
Or they give you a different seat?
No, if you are flying that same this thing, you get your same seat. But if you are flying the next one, you get a different seat. So I was like, okay, I was optimistic. I was like, Ashiba was the first. Shebi is supposed to be first come, first serve. Anyway, long story short, when everybody has now finished boarding, I said, me that was supposed to be like the second set of people that they will call to enter. I was like the last. What that means is my seat was like 2 seats after first class.
Yeah.
The overhead, this thing was already full. And I went to the back to push my back. I was so angry. Because I was like, okay, so what's the whole point?
Why did you wait?
I had to now go to the back to look for like where there's space to put my bag. And it was so chaotic. And I went back to the front to sit down. When we now landed, you know how
wait.
You know how everybody
just sit down and chill.
From the toilet sit down, ready to come to the front. Me, I was like, no. I didn't like what that was. I said that me the for money. But anyway, that was.
What if you started raking for them? They're like, I stood up.
Who wants to? You just make a nuisance of yourself. I'm telling you. So, but yeah, I mean, got back on Thursday. Yeah, Friday had a full work day. I was at the same graduation ceremony. It was Tabor's graduation. It was really nice. Emory.
UJ. Okay.
Emory. That was my first time in Emory actually.
Congrats to him.
Yeah, and then so this morning I was actually in church this morning. So we had a special service. It's called Rite of Passage. I've always heard about it, and I've always wanted to like hear what it was about, like know what it was about. I know what it's about, but I wanted to be like there. So I volunteered to be on CG this morning.
What does CG mean?
Computer graphics. So I work in the production unit in church, media unit in church. So when I now got there, I was like, okay, what's going to happen? That means I had to wake up. So I had an early day, which I don't like for my Saturdays. But this event was so wholesome. Like, it was so wholesome. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. I was like, okay, so the whole point is, I think from, I can't remember what age to what age now, but till 7th grade, you'll be in, okay, let me put it in Nigerian language. It's like kids' church, preteen, and teenage church.
Okay.
So this is basically preteen. I don't know if it's 7th grade is what? Is that
7th grade is like JS2, I think.
So maybe
7th grade.
So maybe I don't know, maybe like
preteen,
but from like 8th grade, 8 to 12, then they now have another, like they call them young adults ministry.
So that's like teenagers.
So yeah,
8 to 12.
they're in high
12
school.
is when you
8
move.
to 12 is adolescence, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in high school, then they're prepping for college.
Okay.
So now so the rite of passage is you are moving from that, I don't know what they call them.
8th grade level.
I don't know, I can't remember what that ministry is, but to the young adult ministry.
Okay.
So it was so beautiful. I was like, Omo, and I started missing, like when I was watching the whole thing. I remember like 3 weeks back, I had like a 6 hours call with two of my childhood friends, and we were just like going on, and we're talking about like when we're younger, we would go to like teenage camps. I don't know if you guys ever had that when you were young, but like we'll go to teenage, like we had like most of our express every summer. We're always looking forward to teenage camp. It was like a national event. That's where you'll be seeing some boys at that time. You all those things, we'll do Bible competition, we'll do quiz competition.
Yeah.
So it was so beautiful to see. But the way they now did this one is those kids will come with their parents. My favorite part of it was when they now had like they had everybody sit by families. So if you are the mother, if you are the father, and if this is the child, so both the three of you sit together. So all of them now had their own little circles like that by family. And then there was a part where they now started talking about, you know, breaking curses, like they were. So you as a mom or a dad, you pray over your child. It was like an open avenue for they talked about like forgiveness. There was one part where the preacher was talking about like if you're a mother, you need to say sorry to your child. Like you should actually say sorry to your child. And if you're a child and you've been rebellious to your parents, this is the part. Like when they were saying, I say, hey, when I was growing up, why did I come and tell my mother?
if your parents will tell you sorry yourself, you'll be scared.
I know.
Because I was like, it was so beautiful to see, because I was like, almost like there were some cryings. Like in fact, there was one part where apparently, I'm sure they must have told the parents before to write a letter to their children for them to keep. So they would read the letter out to their child or their children, depending on how many they have, and then the child will now keep that letter for himself or herself for like forever, and then they can always go back to it. I was like, oh my god, this is so. Honestly, I feel like
you have to be an intentional parent as well to be able to do that. Like
to make time for that.
To make time.
See, I want to say, first of all, shout out to the church for being thoughtful, because creating an avenue for like an open discussion, a place of impact between a parent and a child is very important. Creating those avenue for, you know, if you need to say sorry, if you need to forgive, like teaching your child how to forgive. Like I was like, okay, like this is so good. And yeah, if like for the parents that also brought their children and came with their children, I feel like they also have an applaud already. Because I was like, it's a thing that, again, as Africans, well, when we were growing up, I feel like, again, our generation now, we are doing better. We are doing all these things better. And then I now started going back to my own childhood. Obviously, like, nobody told me sorry, or nobody wrote letter to me that I would keep or whatever. And it's easy for me to, like, blame my parents, to say, they will beat me, or even when they are at fault, they will still tell me that I'm the one at fault. But I now like look back to how they grew up, and I'm like, they actually did better than their own parents.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I always use when I'm like, oh, but my mom didn't do that. But the truth is, my mom did better than her parents did, right? And so it's my job to do better than my mom. And then my kids will do better than me, and that's just a circle of life. Like that's what life is about.
Yeah,
making it easier for the next generation. So
continuous improvement all the time. Because these days, you know, when people say something, they'll be like, African parents are this and this. Yeah, obviously they have their faults. Nobody's perfect, but there's also the other side of, like, you know, creating a balance to say that was how they knew best.
Exactly. That was the card that they were dealt with.
Right.
Because I agree with you.
It's just a flow of how they were brought up, and they're like, maybe they're like, oh, I have to do better than, you know, what you know. I'm just in my head. I just started playing like the stories that my parents had told about their own parents, and how they now raised us. It's not the same.
Exactly,
sure. It's not the same. So I'm like, obviously, like there are so many things that, you know, when we talk about things in my family, and I'm like, do you remember that time that you did this, you did that? Yeah, you can say that, but at the end
sometimes
of the day,
they don't even remember.
Oh yeah, my mom doesn't always remember.
You don't remember.
It's not the best way. It's the best way she can remember. The best way she don't remember.
Another thing again is the fact that there is no training manual
to be a parent, and to
even if you say this is how I will do it, you need to understand that number one, the environment will never be the same. So that's the first. I think that's like the first one that just blows everything out of the water. Is that the environment will never be the same. Our parents were trained, or rather, our parents trained us in a time where there was no phone. internet was not what you just everybody had on their palms, right?
Yeah.
Now we're going to have kids where AI is going, ChatGPT is going to be their Google. You know, we went from there was not even Google. I don't think Google was a verb like in primary school for me. Google it became something maybe in university.
Then even when you were in secondary school, they will even tell you don't use Wikipedia. They say use your textbook to write your assignment or your answers.
Yeah. But now you hear people say, ChatGPT is now. ChatGPT is no more Google Chat. So it's going to be different. So how do you want to compare that now to what your parents did for you?
And I think even as well, even when your parents have multiple children, right? The stage in life in which they were in when they gave birth to you as a first child is different from when you as a last one. I think that's why a lot of times we say, the last ones enjoy, because what you say, you did this, mommy will not take it to. You not see the mommy will just be smiling like, just leave him or leave her, a small girl.
For me, I even feel like, honestly, I don't know if you guys are firstborns, but I kind of feel bad for firstborns, because I feel like they use them to experiment.
I'm not the firstborn, but I am the first daughter, and yes, my mother used to experiment. I used to say this story all the time. Like, there was one point she was literally just policing me. Oh my god. I remember I had printed, because we got what's it called, a desktop very early when we were growing up. My dad had this Starcoms multi-links that you now use. You buy card on the multi-links, you now use it to have internet. So I'd gone on the internet, I'd checked out all this really nice hairstyle. You know this, I don't know if they see it now, like this hairstyle that you have your weave, like it to be long, and then you now have like one short
weave on, right?
Yeah, but it's going to be like curved like this. I still remember that picture so vividly. I can't remember what class I was then. I was in secondary school or whatever. I can't remember. And I was like, this is my big break. I'm a big girl. I have to try big girl things. And I have one auntie, cool. She's the cool auntie. So I showed her this picture. I said, this is my next hairstyle. She was like, don't worry, I know somebody that can do it for you. That time it was 300 naira. That 300 naira that time. Hey! It was like a big deal. 300 naira just to make the hair. Now you buy the big one and everything. I started saving. I said, I will do this hair. That's how she took me to like the hairstylist. You know, that time, salons, they get level. So this one is not hairdresser. It was salon. So when I got there, they did the hair. It was so nice. Even when I feel myself like, hey! That was my first long weave and everything. I came home. Tell me, my mother was asking me, this your hair is very long, for like days.
She kept saying,
at some point she was like, I should go and losing it. I said, losing what? 300. I think it's peace. She went to report me that time. I can't remember who she reported me to, but she reported me. Okay, she reported me to youth pastor that time. That I'm doing long hair. That's kiniko. After so I feel like sometimes parents also project their preferences on the children. Yeah. So my mother would rather braid her hair or do a short weave than do a long weave. I've never seen my mother on a long weave before. So I felt like she was also projecting that on me. Like, you cannot do a long weave. You have to do a short weave, or you have to braid your hair. So I did a long weave based on the rebel child that I was. But I remember one thing that my youth pastor told me that time, and I did not forget. He told me that life is in times and seasons. And it was like, now your mother is bothered about you having long hair because obviously she's worried that this girl is now becoming a teenager and people are going to be looking at her much more than they were looking at her as a child. And she was like, in the next how many years, this is not what your mother will be worried about you. That thing stopped with me. Although I did not lose my hair immediately, but I was like, that is so true. Like, that is so true. Like, now I don't think my mother will come and meet me that why are you wearing long weave.
That's so true.
But in fact, there was one time she told me I could not wear trousers. Like, I'm serious. Like, it was so bad. Like, she was like, no, you have to stop. Like, and I felt like two things. Well, she was probably more protective of me. She was like, oh, maybe, like I said, like, this world is not safe for a girl child anyway. Yes. But tell me why my sister, her first breed was below Ayash. I say,
because you've broken the boundary. I love that. Yeah. Honestly,
this your hair is long ago. Did you go home? She was like, yeah, I'm coming. I said, hey.
And it's like even the younger children they don't even have like it does not mean anything to them. They're like, it's long now, it's long.
I said, hey.
One thing mommy will handle you.
Do you know the
You will not be waiting to see how mommy will do it. Mommy will just say, oh, your hair is fine. I'm like,
I swear. She was like, your hair is. She was like, your hair is fine. I said, your hair is fine. That's all you have to say. That's it.
Do you know why I'm laughing? I'm laughing because I'm the last girl in my family, and I had 2 older sisters that did all the rebelling that could ever be done. Like, if my first older sister did not rebel about this one, the second one did. So when I got to that stage, there was nothing for me to rebel about because even when I want to try, my mother will not even put on the fight. So like, do it. Like, I remember then sleeping over at people's house was like, I remember how my sister used to fight for that thing because she's like a social butterfly. Everybody used to invite her for sleepover. My mother would be like, must you go there? When me, I started, go now. Go now. No problem. So yeah, I am thankful for my older sisters that paved that path. When you paved that path for your sister.
No, older sisters
my sister
because
paved
I
that path for
remember
me.
even me, I'm the second daughter, so my older sister, she's even the firstborn. At a particular point when we go out, because then we didn't even really used to go out like that, blah blah blah. When we go out, my sister at the point, she does not tell you, I want to go to this place. Because before you leave the house, you have to tell my dad or my mom where you are going to. It's not, oh, mommy, I want to go to so and so person's birthday, or I want to go and my sister will say, I'm going to Guinea. She has gone. Like, she does not wait for you. She's like, oh, daddy, I'm going to so and so place, and she has gone. Like, she's not waiting to hear.
So you answer query. Who is she? Where are you going?
My parents, we never know. We never know their names.
You say,
oh, I want to go out with them. Who is Ebun? Who is she? Where have you seen her
like,
before?
Oh, is that girl? You don't have to use an instant.
Use something.
Like, in fact, that's one of my friends.
She was the one that came first in class.
You now say she's the one that the day you came to our school, she was with me.
Do you remember? It's so funny because my mom did that for my siblings, but for me, she could never keep track of my friends. She'd be like, which one is that thing? I said, a parent now. Then she's like, is it the fair one or the very fair one? I said, mommy. But my sister's friends, she knew them. She could keep track. She knew who she liked, who she did not like, who. But for my friends, it was like,
you shall have friends. Don't worry.
You shall have friends.
Fine.
I'm telling you.
So I don't know, Sha. It's just, and that's why I know a lot of people now. They're like, I feel again, children differ because I feel like for me, anytime they say go A, I feel like that was like my cue to just go B. I remember when I was there to go and serve, and I was telling my dad that I knew that the Holy Spirit told me that I was going to Abuja. My dad said it was not possible, and he was like, I have given so persons your details. They are going to and you serve in Abeokuta.
Okay.
My brother served in Abeokuta. In fact, all of my family members got where they were processed to. So my sister served in Abeokuta, my brother served in Abeokuta, my immediate elder brother served in Ibadan. Our last born is still in school. So like it was West. Like anytime you're about to serve, like it's not even a matter of you go to Sokoto and go and do camp first. No, it's like you're already going straight to the back. So he already given people my name. I know how NYC is, which is a topic for another day. They will tell you a few days before, which is very stupid because you tell people go to Zamfara
like 2 days or 3 days before. That's ridiculous. Yeah,
very ridiculous. So nobody thought that Abuja would actually work. I got Abuja.
But how did you even get Abuja? Because Abuja is people don't get. You don't just get Abuja by chance.
They don't give me Abuja.
That's exactly what everybody said.
Abuja by chance.
Was like, Ebu, are you sure you're not a witch like this? Because he could not believe, like the person that he gave that stuff to, he was sure.
Are you sure the person not make mistake?
I don't think so. Like it was like, because this person is still like involved in our family. Like I'm sure if my brother wants to say now, he also wants to go to the same place. Like the same person will still help. So I don't think so. And then after all the thing, like, but I was like, okay, don't worry, just go. And I remember
go to camp and come back.
Go to camp and come back. When I got to Abuja, I remember they gave me one nonsense PPA first, military, kiriko. I was excited at first. I got there and I remember because I'm very close to my dad. I would call my dad and be like, I never see PPA. Every time he always remind me that, you better come back home. Like, come back home.
Redeploy.
In fact, we did that for maybe 1 or 2 weeks and I didn't get PPA. That was when I would play this song. Do you know this song? Pray for me. Do you know that song? What's beginning of the song? The beginning of the song was like, I'm leaving the house.
Yeah, it's like the song that they used to use for FYB. Is it the one that
No.
It's
No. There's this song. People like, pray for me, badura for me, koriba mi she, forgive me for that, for I'm going to take a chance. But you know people don't know.
I know the tune, but I can't remember
play
lyrics.
that song like fire. So what the song was just saying is, okay, no, the song started like this. I woke up one Sunday morning, told my father I'm leaving home.
I know the song, but I can't remember. I know the song.
When I was
I will
now play the song.
Wait, is it Timmy that sang that song?
It's not Timmy. It's not
I
Timmy.
know the song. I know, but I'm just.
So the song was like, pray for me, badura for me, pray. Apparently, our audio stopped recording.
But this is fixed now. We will continue the gist in the next episode. Bye.